Here we will share some experience for the determining of sulfuric acid concentration during dilution. Dilute high concentrated sulfuric acid is a common process in our digestion or in the reaction. Mostly sometimes when researchers would like to know the exactly concentration after dilution, so they are eager to know how to determine the correct concentration. They will face the kind of challenge when they detect the concentration with a common available instrument in the lab, like a pH meter. They will face problem, but they maybe not know why the problem come from. Here we will be share some experience based on this challenge we faced to see why the pH meters sometimes not work. Mostly it's due to your concentration is not low enough to reach to the determined range with the concentration related with pH value. Come to here, we will see the structure of the sulfuric acid. Based on the structure of the sulfuric acid, we will have a poor electron structure here. Then when it fits with rich electron compounds, it will have a kind of reaction being conducted. Come to example, we can see when like in nitric acid, when the rich electrons was here, these electrons will come to attach with the sulfuric acid and they will form some kind of special structures that performance as a highly oxidation or performance with other properties in your reaction system. So you can use this property, combine sulfuric acid with other component or reagent to form as the target reaction intermediate with your sulfuric acid to make your reaction be easier and conduct successfully. This is not only limited to be water, but other compounds that's rich in electrons, like sulfuric acid itself, like water. That all happens between each other. You can see when the sulfuric acid was in conjunction with sulfuric acid itself, it also forms special structures. And this will be happen when the concentration is high. There's no enough water being drawn in the ionization. It will be majorly use these formulas. Come to the phase diagram of sulfuric acid, we can exactly know how the component inside under different temperature. You can refer this and check all the details from the related book or reference for more information about this. Today we majorly check to answer the question that we mentioned at the beginning of the slide, to clearly know why sometimes when you detect the concentration with pH meter you will face problem. Come to the ionization process, we start from the concentration is low until it's high. We check what happened. So when there's enough water in the system, the ionization was conducted for follow every the information we know before, but we will be paying attention. The second stage is not 100% conducted stage. It's a dynamic that not really 100% conducted. It will come or revise. It dependent on how many water in your system. So when the pH value was determined based on the concentration of hydrogen ions, you will not exactly know the relationship between the sulfuric acid with the hydrogen ion concentration, because they are not in linear relationship, especially when the concentration come to higher than 0.0111. the pH value will reach at 2 at this moment. This was already the major component. That means this one was not conductive more than before, so this become the major component. Is no more relationship, linear relationship between the hydrogen ion with the sulfuric acid. So you can pay attention to this concentration value to check when your pH value will lost function to determine the concentration of sulfuric acid. We can see even more clearly from this diagram. Let's see when the sulfuric acid change into higher, what the relationship between the pH meter with pH value with the sulfuric acid. So in most of the time, it's not in linear relationship. So that we the better not use pH value as an indicator for determining the concentration of sulfuric acid, because the suitable range is too little. Come to the higher concentration stage, when the concentration increase more than 84% at this stage, the molar percentage of sulfuric acid and water is equal to 1. And if the concentration increase higher than this, there will be no more water that come to join together the ionization with the sulfuric acid. The residue of sulfuric acid will become the major component who join the ionization. So he will conduct a reaction like this. It's come further proof that the relationship between the pH value and the concentration of sulfuric acid is not suitable, because that is not the indicator for the sulfuric acid. The ionization of sulfuric acid is too complicated for us to use pH value to determine the concentration of sulfuric acid. But there's not see if the pH value cannot use, we don't have other method to determine. We have quite several methods that can be determine the concentration of sulfuric acid in very easy way. The first parameter we can apply is the density. Density with quite good linear relationship with the concentration of sulfuric acid. So when you apply a density, you can build the density of the solution, mixed solution, any mixed solution that contain the sulfuric acid with the weight percentage of the sulfuric acid. Of course, if you have other mixtures inside the solution, it's better to filter the solid out to see the concentration of the sulfuric acid. If you are only a diluted sulfuric acid, this is definitely a very suitable method for determining the concentration. This is the instrument, one of the instruments that's applied with density as the parameter to determine the concentration of sulfuric acid. You can see its range is very wide. So with sulfuric acid, it can, with density of the sulfuric acid, it can cover the full range of the concentration. Only limitation is the accuracy is not that very high. Conductivity is one parameter that can apply, but not really good, because the range is also small. With the linear relationship, the range is also small. Ultrasonic is another method that can use for sulfuric acid, but ultrasonic mostly used in industry, in lab scale. It's not very easy. Come to a very suitable parameter that we can use is the refractive index. This is a very suitable method that we can apply because it's with a good linear relationship. Limitation is it cannot fully cover because there's in a predicted range is not in the linear relationship. Advantage is this instrument very convenient and portable, so we can use it for concentration determination. And just in between 65% and 88 is no value to use. You can choose when your concentration is just in its covered range, and the instrument is cheap. So we can use this to check the concentration of the sulfuric acid. In your case, if your require is high, for example, you want to use density to determine the concentration. If your requirement is high and your solution is complicated, at that moment you can build your own calibration curve first before you doing the testing with the instrument based on your own system. Then it will not limited by whether it's a pure solution or a mixture. We can recommend you do that.